How you doing?
Hey, man, I'm looking forward to this. I was looking forward to seeing you.
Yeah, got the COVID
FaceTime.
COVID
But
hair.
yeah, you're looking good, man. I wore my good hat.
Oh, these are just ear hairs. I
We're
know.
doing good, man. I'm
Now,
really glad that you are doing this. I really like those new things you put up on YouTube from this project. Hey, you got the big version
the
or the
signed one.
signed version.
Yeah, you can buy these. They are
You
for
can,
sale.
you can buy this too. It's
Yep,
for
and
sale.
also, if you can't quite spring for that, get you one of these. The
Oh, I
liner.
remember that.
Yeah, you were one of the first ones to do them.
We
Guess.
were sitting down and eating lunch, I think, or
Yes,
you passed them
at
around.
Treadgills.
Threadgills.
Oh, they're closed for good.
Oh,
Done
I'm
gone.
sorry, Dan. When I heard about that, I was thought of you first thing.
That was one of my top three places in the world to eat.
I know it.
When I do my series, my top two places in the world to eat, I'll be sure and mention them as
Yeah,
if they used
that
to
was a
be
good
there.
one.
Yeah. So I'm sporting my Ray Wiley Hubbard Snake Farm T-shirt. Just
Well,
because,
that's a coincidence because I just got a call from him the other day, and he's moving up here to New Mexico.
attaboy. So y'all gonna, and that's kind of near your area.
It is. He's living here in Santa Fe, or he's going
Wow.
to,
Very
and
nice.
I'm looking forward to seeing him. Our old buddy Ronnie Johnson, who's bass player with McMurtry for a long time.
Huh.
He's living here. We've been doing some work together, so
That's
we've been
good.
staying in touch. And Ronnie and I have already decided we're going to be his bass player and drummer.
Wow.
I mean, if we ever have any of us ever have gigs again,
Yeah. Yep. If nothing else, just to make his tracks. When he does his little, you can do this little video stuff and low production. It's all about content.
well, I think it's for right now, especially with this pandemic. It's what the musicians are doing.
Yep.
They're
Yep.
doing their little social media concerts, and
Yep.
I don't know if that's the future or not, Dan, but I think that we're all kind of in the same boat here. So let's just
Yep.
continue keeping on, my man.
Yep. Yep. Now I brought up. I put on the Hubbard shirt just because that's kind of where we started.
Exactly.
You and John and I, and the wife had got tickets to Ray, and you guys had maybe just left Jersey Jeff,
Yeah.
and started with him. It was, I'm guessing, '78 at a place called
Right.
Whiskey River in Houston.
Whiskey River in Houston.
And
That's right.
and
That's
there
right.
might have been Counting the Help and you guys and us, maybe 15 people in the room, maybe 20. So it was very easy. Access was very easy. This would, yeah, '78. It was very easy just to walk up and start talking to y'all, and knowing a little bit about Ray just because of redneck mother. But we we stunk up a conversation right away.
Well, you want to hear the story I tell about it?
You go ahead.
I think there's a little element of truth in here, but it doesn't make any difference. It's a good story. Um, I remember meeting you at that gig in Houston, and you came up to us and said, I'm going to work for you. I'm going to go on the road with you, and you don't have to pay me. And I'm going to do everything. I'm going to drive. I'm going to get the beer. I'm going to set up everything, and I'm going to be a really good sport about it. And then we all looked at each other and said, sure, get on the bus. And then you went back to the end of the club, and you put on "Take This Job and Shove It" because you were working there, and you turned it up real loud and left. And came back and got on the bus and we drove away. Now, it's a good story.
That's better than the truth, and that's and that's what makes a good story. It's got a little bit of truth, and that's probably elements of about 4 or 5 different stories, which is best because now you don't have to tell them all, just the high points of each and make them one.
Well, getting back to this here project,
Yeah.
did I hold this up yet?
Yes, and did I hold mine up?
I think you did.
Looky there.
Oh, yeah. Part one. I think when you came up with this idea to do this, I think at some point, now this is my story, I'm not sure if it's the truth, but it's one I've been telling everybody.
Good.
You came up to me and you said, Paul, remember all those gigs that we used to drive home from? You know, Dallas, Austin, Houston, Austin, Fargo, Austin, whatever. And then we would, get in the van late at night and we'd want to listen to something. Let's put on some good music that's good cruising music, man. And you said something like, you know what? Or maybe I said it. I think I said it because it's a good line. I said, well, let's make something we'd want to listen to driving home from the gig. Now, I don't know if that happened before we did the project or during or after, but that kind of was an idea. I think that
if not
in your mind,
if not the starting point, it became like a measure of how good of what we was going to try to do. If there was any theme, it was a driving record, because that makes a good record. If truck drivers like it, long haulers, they'll put it on, and so that also, along with another factor, led to the fact that there's some 10-minute songs. And you don't want to be hearing a new song every 3 minutes. That doesn't get you far down the road. But
sure does.
I tell you
That's
what,
right.
Everybody I've talked to that plays that record driving at the boogie, they have to watch their speed, because you just start pushing down on the accelerator. The boogie from Mr. Wills. You cannot help but speed to that. So if a warning, set your cruise control when you put that song on, or that whole record.
And to go along with that idea, the fact that you had that particular track on a space shuttle Earth Day movie. So, hey, great driving record.
Yeah. I'm 1 for 1. Well, I never crashed y'all. I thought where you were going was that I was going to say, remember all those times I got you home safe? Well, here, I need your help on something.
Oh, yeah.
But
yes.
That very much comports with the story I'm going to change mine to.
Okay, good. And just let me know if I need to make any changes.
Okay, yeah. Well, it's better if they're all different. It'll look like conflict, and then there's your press.
Well, what do you want? My story? Your story? Or
from
his story? Or
well, from the time you heard about it, that was probably 24 hours after I had connected with Bert and found him, and then like maybe 3-4 hours before I called you is when the idea started forming. And really, by the time we talked, I kind of had the whole thing kind of drawn out, and I got proof. There's a paper around here somewhere that's got it all written down, along with the pledge I made of why I was doing it in the first place. And if I was
remember that.
It was something like to record for posterity some of the songs and stories of you particular guys. And with the interview part, now I think we got the stories, at least enough of them. I don't know if you remember the Sears catalog story, but that's going to be a classic.
The Sears catalog story, yeah.
Why the underwear pages kept going missing from everybody's family Sears Roebuck catalog.
Oh, right. I also remember the first guitar I ever bought was a Silvertone out of the Sears catalog, and you could get a black one or a brown one. And I said, I got the black one, and Bert said, I got the brown one.
Yeah, and he called you an outlaw for getting the black one. Now,
$39.95, as I remember.
At some point, we'll have to tell our story of the no rent contest, and I think what it actually became, it wasn't a low rent. It was a no. We weren't low rent. We were no rent.
We could probably talk about that, but
yeah. So let's move on. So I call you with this idea, and I think.
By the way, I think you won the no rent contest.
Yeah.
Because you were on the road more than me at the time.
Yeah, and I could just live in a storage shed. Out in that shed out there.
Right, and that little car you still have.
Yep. Now, so what do you call 911 or something right after that, or the disaster prevention hotline? Saying there's a young man in Houston that's got some whack idea. It's not harmful to anybody necessarily, but uh, no,
Well, that's a good story. I think you could probably work on that story, calling 911 and everything. However, when you first told me about the idea, I jumped on it. I thinking, hey, this is great because I've been doing all these singer songwriter, country folk, rock blues sessions in Austin, and this sounded like a really good, different, unique sort of project where you're just going to get four egomaniac guitar players
now
in
we're
the
there.
studio
Yeah,
with me and Glenn and playing bass and drums, and you were expecting us to come up with all this great music, and mistakes were made, but we come up with some pretty good stuff, I thought. And
yeah,
the fact that you wanted to do it without really rehearsing, you wanted to get everybody in the same room, play live. The fact that you wanted to do it on analog tape, and the fact that you were going to videotape it, high def videotape it from the start, sounded like a really good, a unique, different kind of project. I love it. I still love it. I still get a kick every time I listen to a track. There's some good stuff, and
yeah.
of course some stuff that didn't make it. But
Yeah.
we
Well,
still,
then
you
there's
have,
volume 2 with
yeah,
6 or 7 of the songs that didn't make it onto 1 that are now
right.
on 2. Plus with the Anika Chambers vocal added to People Get Ready.
Yes, yes.
That's really good.
And I knew that it was a chancy. I mean, you were going to spend some money on this, so I knew it was a chancy project. We'd going into it like that, and however, you don't really, get anywhere in this life unless you take some chances, man.
Yeah. Well, I think either right before I talked to you or right after that first day, I kind of had to question and answer myself. I said, you're going to spend between X amount and Y amount. And it ended up being right in the middle. And if you never see a dime back of this, is this worth doing? And I go, yeah, it is. So then that was why the 10-minute songs, and let's just keep it light. And the only way for anything good to happen is for this planned spontaneity, just keep it light and free and like a family reunion that nobody's ever met really too much, kind of heard of out there. Cousin Bert.
Well, as I remember now, one of the great things about this project to me was not only the fact that you did use analog tape, and the Arlen studio had just remodeled and got their analog system working, which a lot of studios at that time, analog was, just a niche market.
Yeah.
Still is sort of. But
Well,
anyway, even though the first day we were all together, we didn't record a note because the machine wasn't working.
Yeah, exactly.
But we got the video, we got the interview.
Yeah.
In.
Yeah.
But mostly the thing that I remember was at the time being a session player in Austin and coming up through the analog world, and I remember Lloyd Maines used to call me up and say, "Hey, Paul, on your way to the studio, drop by, pick up a roll of tape,"
Yeah.
And then we'd go into the studio, we'd get our sounds, roll the tape. Y'all play something. We're going to get some levels. We're going to get sounds. And then, the band's in there. They're fresh. They're ready to play. And we just start jamming.
Yep.
And, that's pretty cool, man. That groove was pretty good. And then we go in there and, do that for 3 or 4 minutes, and then, okay, y'all come on in and listen to this. And let's see what we got. And we all go in there and we listen to this jam, and we're going, hey, this sounds pretty good. We're tweaking sounds and levels and stuff. Yeah. But then we go, okay, now we're going to start. And they roll the tape back to the top.
Yeah.
And we started the first song, and that jam is gone forever. When actually the jam was probably the coolest thing.
Actually, I have those on video. They're not on the tape, but I've got them on the video.
Yeah.
The very first day with Shaky Cam, I managed to catch the very beginning of well, the very first song that y'all played, really, that we had tape rolling was the Pause for the Cause, and I don't even have the whole thing on because it was happening so fast and so good. He didn't even have the camera turned on for the beginning of it, so it was like boom, there's one, and
Yeah.
that
Right.
was cool. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Right. Right.
And
Yeah.
then we hit a couple of stone walls, but we worked our way through them, and I've got all that stuff to look through and kind of maybe do a thing of how we built a song that might be interesting for the viewer, for the home viewer.
And
Uh,
another idea along that line, Dead Eye, is oftentimes when we're making records, we try to keep them to under 5 minutes. Do a yeah, 3, 4 minute, 5 minute song, and we know we're going to fade it, and so we're in there cutting the track, and we know the chart says fade, so we all start playing really good at the phase. You
yeah,
know, even if the song was we're going to have a good fade, man. We're going to jam out at the end. Well, that got faded, and you don't really ever hear those good jams. But then when you and I went in to mix this project, I'm going, damn, this is 12-minute song. Are we going to fade it?
yeah, yeah.
I think everybody that's playing just kind of thought we were going to fade it because anyway.
Yeah.
But you said no.
And then I go, hey, well, listen to that. You going to cut that off? Are
Yeah,
you going to fade on that? And
right.
it became like a kind of like a no rent contest, like a no fade contest.
No
I
fades.
did have to fade one time, maybe twice, and
Yeah.
I'm not proud of that.
Well, there you go.
If you're going to keep playing, we're going to keep rolling tape. So you're going to have to stop, figure out an ending somewhere, some way, even if it's, shaving a haircut or
Right.
ta-da.